It's impossible to exaggerate the importance and benefits associated with high-speed trains. They have continued to prove their worth over the last 5 decades and haven't shown any signs of stopping soon. From reducing journey times to creating job opportunities, fostering community closeness, and significantly contributing to economic growth, high-speed trains have helped several countries in diverse ways and are still helping. And as we all know, Japan, China, and Europe have consistently been at the forefront of this not-so-new revolution. China alone boasts of over 42,000 kilometers of high-speed railways and is currently constructing an extra 70,000 kilometers scheduled to be commissioned by 2035. This story of high-speed trains, ironically, is different in the United States of America. The United States does not have any high-speed rail network like those we see in Japan, China, and other parts of Europe. And as shocking as this may sound, it's true. A lack of political and federal financial support, combined with fierce landowner opposition, are some of the reasons why Americans don't get to travel by these comfortable and fast trains. But hold up, we might just be getting to the end of the tunnel where we'll find the light. President Joe Biden recently signed a $1 trillion infrastructure bill that promises to bring the United States its first high-speed train. So, why is the United States not involved in this technological advancement? Why does the US not have a high-speed rail network like the ones used in other first-world countries? Stick to the end of the video to find out. And please, subscribe and share. The United States is arguably the most economically successful nation on Earth, with an urban population of over 300 million. Yet it doesn't have a single high-speed rail network, not to mention bullet or supersonic trains. How do we justify this? In 1964, the first high-speed rail system in the world began operations in Japan. The Tokaido Shinkansen was nicknamed the bullet train in English due to its speed. The Japanese have enjoyed trains over the years, but Americans have since missed out on this luxury and are instead overly reliant on the stressful airlines and congested highway networks. According to the editor-in-chief of America's oldest railroad industry publication, William C. Von Tuono, Americans, and people living in America, seem to be hopelessly stuck with commuting using the airline and highways only. And while this is true, isn't it time for them to see the value of high-speed trains? Americans have neglected the use of even regular trains as far back as the 1950s. Eventually, by the early 70s, famous railroads such as the New York Central had gone bankrupt thanks to the lack of patronage and handed their loss-making passenger trains to the national train operator, Amtrak. And since Amtrak took over, passenger rail networks have continued to decline because it's not one of the United States lawmakers' priorities. Instead, they have focused more on powerful airlines, expressways, and freeways, etc., further justifying the superiority of these alternatives over trains. But the worsening congestion and long lines at airports and bus stations, coupled with rising road accidents and road rage in the United States, are forcing passengers to hope for better traveling options. And the environmental impacts of these millions of miles of concrete lanes of highways crisscrossing the country are forcing lawmakers to review their notes on transportation. The years of hoping are finally over, as President Joe Biden recently signed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, including a $170 billion quota proposed for improving railroads. As a part of this $170 billion, the quota would also be used to repair the crumbling Amtrak's Northeast Corridor that links Washington, New York, and Boston. The government is also planning to introduce passenger trains to more cities nationwide to allow people to travel faster. High-speed trains are not just faster, but more sustainable. There are more cities in the United States without passenger trains than those with, and therefore millions of US residents will benefit from these trains. Amtrak also plans to launch its new generation of Avelia Liberty trains with a maximum speed of 220 miles per hour. Once launched, this train would be the latest high-speed train in North America. More excitingly, the US government has also recently approved Brightline's proposed operation in Florida. Brightline plans to splash a total of $10 billion to finance its projects in the country. According to the CEO, Mike Reininger, Brightline is shovel-ready to commence the talked-about high-speed rail projects in the US, with the hope of leveling the playing field against transit and other infrastructure projects worldwide. California is first to benefit from Brightline projects, as work has started on the 318-kilometer high-speed rail network that links Las Vegas and Los Angeles. The project is scheduled to be completed and commissioned by 2027. And thanks to this upcoming rail project, Brightline is projected to create over 35,000 construction jobs and over 1,000 permanent jobs in Nevada and Southern California, while attracting about 12 million one-way trips per year. These permanent jobs will cut across operations, customer service, and maintenance. The company's upcoming projects also include the Cascadia route, linking Portland, Oregon, with Vancouver and Seattle, and a few other schemes in Texas and California. But that's not all. There is also the Californian High-Speed Rail, CHSR project, which is in the works and scheduled to open in 2030. CHSR will run at 220 miles per hour from Marquette to Bakersfield, at a total distance of 171 miles. CHSR also plans to upgrade the existing but abandoned commuter rail lines between Los Angeles and San Francisco. This way, commuters can travel this distance, up to 560 kilometers, within just 2 hours and 40 minutes. More than 10,000 people have been employed for this project, and it's predicted to cost up to $98 billion. And after completion, though, CHSR will connect 10 of the largest cities in California. However, despite the apparent value that high-speed rail networks may bring to the US, a few people are still pessimistic about the developments. One of them is an industry observer who says it is a pipe dream. And in his words, a US high-speed rail network is a pipe dream. A lack of political and federal financial support, combined with the kind of fierce landowner opposition CHSR has faced in California, means that the challenges for new high-speed projects are enormous. But thankfully, now the United States is finally ready to embrace the passenger rail revolution that began several decades ago. Of course, air travel will more than likely remain the most preferred option for long-distance travel, especially intercontinental. Nonetheless, the advent of high-speed rail networks in the United States will make the shorter intercity travel much easier, while providing an incredible alternative to highway and air travel. More importantly, it will help the US government better prepare for its ever-increasing population. The population of California alone is predicted to reach 45 million before 2050. So yeah, what do you think? Are you excited that high-speed rails are finally coming to the US? Or do you think it's also a pipe dream? We'd love to know your thoughts via the comment section down below.